100% Chelsea. Chelsea 0, Leicester 1. Last game before Christmas. Obviously now closer to Europa League than we are to the top of the table. We were originally, but now it looks even less likely that we're going to be proceeding to have that top 4 march, as it were. It'll be a bit more difficult.
It is.
What do you reckon about today?
Firstly, 2 things. First, congratulations to Leicester. They came here to Stamford Bridge, which is a difficult place to come, and inflicted Chelsea's first defeat on us at home this season in the league. Secondly, congratulations to Claude Puel. With that victory, he's probably secured his job for another few weeks at least, as there have been calls for him to get the sack, particularly if they came here and got turned over. Chelsea today were disappointing, and I think it's another example of what happens to Chelsea when Eden Hazard gets suffocated out of the game. From the first minute, Chelsea had 70% possession today, 72% possession. However, that doesn't matter. We could have 99% possession. It's what happens with that possession, and Chelsea were not creative enough today. From the first minute, Leicester came here, played very similar to how Bournemouth did it on Wednesday night. They sat back and allowed Chelsea to come at them without giving them too much space, which for Chelsea's perspective, fine if we've got possession, but we're only going to be able to do long shots because Leicester were not giving us space to play into. It was disappointing because you'd expect the calibre of team that Chelsea are to really actually give something on top of that. But again, we were creatively poor. Fabregas came on for the last 20 minutes, and again, he didn't give too much to the game, and it was really difficult. Jamie Vardy took us a couple of opportunities, and he put that goal away.
Is what goal scorer needs to do.
He did, and that is exactly what we were lacking.
We exactly. I mean, we did switch it up at some point. We had Olivier Giroud come into the side. Obviously, and Loftus-Cheek. Obviously, they offered that little bit of more directness, a little bit more bite. Do you think, obviously everyone's saying we're not going to sign a top quality centre forward in January. Obviously there's been talk of Callum Wilson, and there's also been gossip going around that potentially Michy Batshuayi's contract may be terminated at Valencia. Could you consider maybe Michy coming into the side as our starting centre forward, or do you still feel that we need to find someone in that January window to tide us over until the summer?
No, I really like the fluid football that we're achieving with this false 9, with the front 3, particularly with Pedro, Willian and Eden Hazard, and obviously Ruben Loftus-Cheek can play in that front 3. And the first half an hour of the game, some of the pieces of play, the fluidity was fantastic. Which you obviously don't particularly get if you've got an all-and-out centre forward. But then I feel that Chelsea needs someone to actually be the focal point of our attacks, which obviously, if you've got those 3 wingers essentially, you don't really have that one man who can really lead the team. Obviously, Eden Hazard, it can't be all expected to be put on his shoulders. Olivier Giroud came on the pitch today, and he wasn't really playing that centre forwards role. It was sketchy in places. In terms of actual striker to come in, Michy Batshuayi, I was upset when he left in August or whenever it is, July, on loan to Spain. I don't know if he can come into this Chelsea squad. There's a reason why he's having his loan terminated. He couldn't do it for us last season. Obviously, he got the odd goal here and there, but he wasn't getting 15 goals, which we need.
Do you feel that may be down to system, though, rather than the player himself? Because you look at Dortmund, you do look at Valencia, obviously he scored goals. Marseille as well, he was scoring a lot of goals. Do you think maybe in this system where the ball's played along the floor, the ball on deck philosophy rather than sorry ball, do you feel that could be where he may benefit and he could be a lot stronger?
It very well could be, but we saw under Antonio Conte that he wasn't receiving the types of balls that he needed, and he wasn't linking up with the players in how we would really like him to be. I don't know if this Sarri ball is really going to prove a strong system that Batshuayi can really come into. I hope that I'm wrong, because actually I think it would be a really good addition for Chelsea, not have to go and spend 50, 60, 70 upwards of that £1 million in the transfer window, which I feel that we're going to have no option but to do that if we don't turn good, because we're coming up against the Leicester side who haven't been on the best of run of forms, and we're unable to break them down. Similar to Everton a few weeks ago, we're unable to break them down, and obviously if the original area doesn't happen, it's difficult to actually go on to that. Obviously we had those substitutes who came on in the 60th minute, but if that's not working out, I find it difficult to actually understand how Chelsea can move forwards. But regardless of that, Leicester played a really good game today. I thought they were good for their points. We move on to Watford on Boxing Day, which we should be winning, but who knows, if we're coming today, we can see anything happens in football. Man City have lost 3-2 at home to Crystal Palace this afternoon, a result that nobody had on the cards, absolutely nobody. Gives Liverpool the incentive. They're now 4 points clear at the top of the league. The Liverpool supporters will be absolutely gleeful. Chelsea really need to buckle up because we're going into a difficult period with Watford, Palace, Southampton. We need to come good. I hope the players get rest over the Christmas period, and then we go on to Watford and Vicarage Road, which is a difficult place to go at this time of year.